again, that makes Jesus angry. I'm going to get to that part, but this part is, you can't miss this part. Don't come to worship to get, but come to give. I ain't talking about your money. You've never heard me talk about your money. I'm talking about you. God wants you. See, don't come surveying the congregation to see if I can fit in somewhere and be comfortable. Come to see where I can fit in and work. Amen? Is it come to see where I can come in and get to work because God has given me a gift and I don't want to sit, I don't want to bear it, I want to use it. God places a brother on your heart. You want to pursue him. You want to find out where he is. If it's a girl, a sister. I don't pursue sisters, I pursue brothers. That's just who I am. I pursue brothers. I like to go out there and find the young brothers and find out and make sure they're in Christ. That's my goal in life. Find these young brothers. Find them out there and show them. Ain't nothing sissified about serving Jesus. Not one single solitary thing. And I want them to understand they got our relationship with Jesus Christ. That relationship with Christ should be better than the one they have with me. So when you go through, you call on him. Because your relationship is intact and he will answer you. The last part is I'll give you this for free too. When you get to a point in your ministry where you are doing what God has told you to do, remember this quote. If I please God, it doesn't matter who I displease. But if I displease God, it doesn't matter who I please. You got to remember that. Because that's what's going to keep you. That's what's going to keep you. Because when you come to help, everybody's going to want you to help. But you got to do what God wants you to do. And you got to make it specific. You got to be intentional. I told y'all. Y'all didn't get that. Donnell didn't stand a chance. He came in one day. God gave me the radar. And I hooked him. I used bait. But now I was saying, I said, bro, you play basketball? It's like heaven. Whoa. Do I play basketball? Well, yeah, man, we got a gym. Come on over. And the brother can play basketball. He's good. But that was just to get to know him. What I wanted to know was could he play basketball for Christ? It's a different game. You can't push on the court. Jump was still good. But my whole goal was to help him. He already knew Christ, just to refine that which was in him, that he might understand God wants to use him in a mighty way. Brothers, we got to be intentional. You can't go out here with a shotgun trying to get everybody. You got to focus your attention on just a few that God has called you. You know when Jesus got the multitude coming, he always gave them some hard saying and they would leave. Yeah. And he focused his attention on 12. He said because the other ones, they were just going to waste his time. That's all they were going to do. You got to define that thing. You got to be intentional. I got to hurry up. I got 15 minutes to get y'all out of here. So the first point I want you to understand is that different expectations. They came with different expectations. But see, that's bad. Because see, when you don't come to find Christ, you're in the wrong place. But they came and said, so they watched him closely whether he would heal on the Sabbath so that they might accuse him. That was their whole purpose for being there. Amen? Don't forget that. Different expectations. And he said to the man who had withered hand, step forward. See, now he's going to give him a dynamic demonstration. See, he ain't scared. Don't think at verse 6 that he just knew that what he did would cause him to do verse 6. You get there in a few minutes. He already knew about verse 6. Amen? He already knew about the cross. He already knew about Calvary. And he already knew that when he does this right here, it's just a launching pad to get Calvary started. But it didn't shake him. He did a dynamic demonstration. You know why I said dynamic demonstration? He didn't have to tell the brother to step forward. Think about this. If Jesus wanted to heal this man's withered hand, all he had to do was think and it would have been done. Nobody would know he did it. It would have been done. It's a dynamic. He said, I want to prove to y'all I'm not scared of you. And I want you all to get this. You know why? Because I want you all to realize I am Christ. So that you have no excuse. Because guess what? Before you get to verse 6, they can still change their mind. Yeah, so you got to read the Bible for its work. Before you get to verse 6, it hadn't happened. And they still could have changed their mind. So they got a dynamic demonstration, and again, I'm not going to, Jesus already knew why they were there. He had confronted them, about the forgiving of the sins back in 2, 5, and 12, remember that? He confronted them about the following the sinners, about fellowship with the sinners back in 2, 15, and 17. He confronted them about the fasting in 2 and 18. He confronted them about the lawfulness of the Sabbath in 2, 24 and 27. He said, but it's time up. It's time out. We are done. This is it. I'm tired of y'all following me around. He said, step forward. He knew they were watching. This is going to be a grand presentation. So you won't forget who did this. I don't want you walking around with blind Bartimaeus because you said who did this. I want you to know who did this. Amen? There will be no mistaking. You're here. He's here. I'm here. Let's get it on. I hope your mind is on the ball game. It must have. Okay, let me get you back. So he told him to stand up in front of everybody. He had to brought him to the center stage. But then he stopped. He paused. He said, before I do this, I'm going to ask you a few questions. He said this. He says, is it lawful on the Sabbath to do good or to do evil? To save life or to kill? But they kept silent. See, he's giving them an opportunity to come clean. He said, I want y'all to understand this. These are the laws that y'all have clouded up with all your other laws. But this is the Mosaic law right here. This is the real law. Is it lawful, see that, to do good? That's what he wants to know. In other words, brothers, can I do some good? Because I am good, right? That's it. There's none good but God. That's me. So can I do some good? Or can you do some evil? Yeah. He's asking them the question. This is to put them on notice. That I know what you have in mind. But you can change right now. And guess what? You can be part of some of this good. I know what your purpose was for coming here, but you can actually turn this into something good. Got it? It's your choice. Whether you want it to be evil or do you want it to be good? Do you want to save a life or do you want to kill me? That's what he's talking about. This is talking about him. He knows, I told you, he already knows Calvary. He already knows all that. But I'm giving you an opportunity right now to come clean and to be saved. Don't ever say the first you've never had a chance to be saved. He said right here, he says, what are you going to do? You know what they did? They kept silent. We don't want to receive Christ. How many times have brothers and sisters heard the gospel and kept silent? How many times have brothers and sisters heard the gospel and kept silent? And said, well, I'm going to do it tomorrow. I'm going to do it later on. I'm going to get it later on. They kept silent. Their silence was the one that condemned them, and Jesus knew what they were going to do, and that's when he got angry. And when he had looked around at them, look, with anger, 2 points. He got angry at them because of what they were going to do. He got angry at them because of what they didn't do. Because he had compassion. That's why he said he was grieved. his anger was there because he knew what they were going to do. And it was going to be their end. It was going to be their destruction. Because of their blind ambition. Because they're going to continue to do what they want to do. You know why? Because selfishness blinds people. Selfishness blinds you. And you can't see that you shouldn't do that because you know what? I'm going to say it or die. Y'all been there one time. Oh no, I got to give him a piece of my mind. I can't let that brother get away with that. Oh, you should let him get away with that. I got a story. I can't tell y'all who it is. And I just got this one the other day. There was a young man, and he was in school. And there were some things happening in his life, and some kids were messing with him. And somebody went to help him out. And they went to help him out, and this young man could have actually done some things to the other young man to kind of take care of himself. Amen? And so the person asked him, and this guy kept messing with him, and the person asked him, says, well, why did you do that to him? And that way he might have left you alone. And the young man said this, he said, because I just decided to forgive him. That's a real story. That's true life. Young man said, no, I just decided to forgive him. Let me tell you, Jesus changes you. I don't have to have my way. I got to have it his way. He changes you. Jesus Christ changes you. It's not mine, it's his way. And when he says, do you want to do good or do evil? I'm choosing good. Save life or kill, I'm willing to save lives. Not keep it silent. And what he wanted them to understand was, see, here's a point where he got angry with them because they didn't do it, and so he got angry with them, but he still wanted them to do it. And so he says, I'm going to show you still who I am. He said, stretch forth your hand. And guess what? This wasn't no fluke. This wasn't no razzmatazz. When you read the Bible, his hand was withered, and literally in front of their eyes, it became whole. This isn't no magician's trick. This really happened. Then you tell me your heart is so hard that you see something like that and you still go against good? You've already crossed over. You're already in there. When Jesus shows you all those miracles and you still decide to go your way, you have no excuse. And in everybody's life in here, God has gave some dynamic demonstration that he's alive. That he's working in your life. Every day you wake up is a miracle. Dynamic demonstration. You've been in accidents, you've been in all these things, and all of a sudden, you're still here. Folks have died for lesser things, and just act like it's supposed to happen to you. You pay your rent every month, don't you? And you got some change in your pocket to shake. And that's just supposed to happen because you work for the government. See, all those things that y'all think we just take for granted. What I want you to understand is God is saying they're only happening because of my grace. They're only happening. It's not that you've done anything to deserve them. It's just that I'm that good. And I want to be a part of good. I don't want to be a part of evil. I want to be a part. It's harder to do good than not. But it's worth it. And he wanted them to understand their silence convicted them. And Jesus still cared about it. And so he showed them the demonstration. And they saw it, and they did not come forward. As a matter of fact, when he did it, not only did they come forward, then they did it. They left. They stayed there and watched it, then left. So what they were saying was, there's nothing you can do. Absolutely nothing you can do to change me. You know why? Because I'm determined to do it my way. Yeah, it was a little Frank Sinatra. You want wanted to do it his way. And they were so determined. I call it a desperate determination. It was a you know why? Because not only